Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, looks like we're closer to a World War III conflict is now more than ever. You know, when I first saw things were going on with the build-up, what, 2 years ago? With Russia building up against Ukraine borders, we all were looking at it. We're all worried that, hey, something might happen. A lot of us looked at it and go, well, they've done it before and pulled back. When we saw the blood transfusion and stuff like that making it to the front line, a lot of us said, yeah, they're going in. So it's always been up and down. Is it going to happen? Are we going into major World War III today? Is it going to be next week? Is it going to be next month? Don't know. We're looking at everything, and I try not to beat the drum too much on this, like, you know, every video or something like that. Hey, we're close, we're closer. We are close. The fact is that they're now using UK Storm Shadow cruise missiles for the first time. Now, they've had these missile systems since last year, if I'm correct, of 2023. And now they finally, Ukraine, excuse me, finally got to use it. We gave permission to use our ATACMS to shoot into Russia. Misquote, I said 180 miles. It looks like it's 190 mile on the range of the ATACMS. Now, they haven't shot into the heart of Moscow yet with these things, but they are shooting into Russia with these missile systems. Russia has knocked out a couple, not all. I mean, they did take out a ammo depot not too long ago. I want people to prepare as much as possible. The fact is that Russia has redid their nuclear war doctrine, their response for nuclear weapons to a non-nuclear country. They can respond against a non-nuclear country that is backed by a nuclear state. In other words, they can use nuclear weapons against Ukraine that is backed up by the United States. Either they're going to knock the crap out of Ukraine and it's all going to be done, or they're just going to go ahead and do a full-on, all-out war with NATO, with America. China is on board. North Korea is on board. Iran is on board. There's your axis. What's to stop it? I know I can't stop it. It's going to happen. So you need to be prepared as much as possible. Now, since the launch of the ATACMS and the Storm Shadow cruise missile, embassies in Kiev has been evacuated out. Also, other countries in the area, I think Finland and a couple other ones, had started evacuating out their embassies is in preparation that there's going to be a response. And right now, that's the thing. I don't know when it's going to happen. That's what they're preparing for. They're saying that, hey, Russia's going to retaliate on this, and it's going to be massive. Is it all going to be centralized there? Or are we going to feel the effects here? Is it going to be full-blown? I don't know. All I know is you keep poking the bear, and it's going to react. And it's going to react in a big way. I don't think it's going to continue to this tit-for-tat war we're seeing right now, this almost proxy. I think the line's been crossed, and it's been crossed many times before. I know, guys. I know. It's up to you. All right, that's what I'm not going to try to convince you anything. I'm going to tell you what we're doing here, what we're seeing, what we're preparing for. If you don't want to worry about Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, hey, that's entirely up to you. I prep for a reason. I prep for things that I have no control over. Everything from natural disasters to the end-all be-all, big-time shit hits the fan. That's what we do. So right now, guys, we are taking a look at the news as much as possible. Like you, I work a normal job too. So when I come home, I only have a certain amount of time to actually listen to news and information. So I'm not going to try to bore you. What I want you guys to do, one, spend time with your family, okay? Families Family is very important. All right, don't ignore your family. 2, work on your preps. Now let's just say that America does not take a nuclear hit. Now, although the threats there from nuclear hits, cyber warfare, EMP, there's I'm not going to say insurgency. I'm going to say saboteurs and sleeper cells in our in our country. Might be in our government too. In our country, take out power grids. I mean, water supply, reservoirs. It's not hard. Most of the stuff just has a chain link fence around it. That's it. You can clear a chain link fence really, really easy. Things can happen here. It might not be the end all be all nuclear bombs blowing up everywhere, and it might not be mutual, the MAD, mutual assured destruction. It might not be that. All right, it might just be 1 or 2 nukes getting popped off and stopped. Then again, maybe a nuclear weapon never gets dropped. Who knows? I prepare as if it will be. Absolutely. Guys, canned goods, dry goods, we've done so many videos. Rice, beans, meats, vegetables, fruits, flour, salt, sugar. I mean, we've got a playlist of weekly prep videos. We've been doing that for years, showing you guys what we're doing, trying to encourage people to do so. There's a lot of new preppers here. I definitely encourage you to go check out. It's in the playlist, weekly preps, things that we do. We've done all kind of different gear reviews on alternative power, solar generators, our own solar panel system, our own solar grid. I know there's people out there on the internet that likes to type away that you can survive without power. Yeah, you can. Some, not everybody. That's the thing, not everybody. Most people that like to type a lot of stuff like that don't do anything anyway. I mean, they're not in the field, they're not out there training in the woods, they're not doing none of it, but they like to type away. Don't listen to that bullshit. The only way to survive situations is actually be training in it. I had a conversation with a couple of my guys that I work with, and one of them had brought up the plane. I think it was Colombia, somewhere. It's been a while back. Plane went down. A bunch of little kids survived like 40 days out in the jungle. What most people don't discuss when they hear that, and I see that people type it away, well, these little kids survived 40 days, I can. That was their lifestyle. They lived in the jungle. They knew what plants to eat. They knew their body was conditioned for the temperatures. They knew how to read their environment. They're not just somebody that's getting dropped off in the middle of the woods and go, okay, 40 days, see you later. No, they were around that situation. Now, was it harsh for them? Absolutely, of course it is. I'm not going to say it's not. I've been out in all kinds of different elements and terrain. It sucks, okay? But to have the mindset, because some kids survived 40 days out in the jungle, means that you can. Don't fall victim to stupidity, all right? Having food and supplies is great. You also need to know how to grow your own food. We've done videos on digging up a garden, planting a garden, harvesting a garden, saving and drying out seeds for next year plant. I've shown the downfalls of pests coming in, freak storms coming in, drought. I've shown where the damage comes in. Having all these supplies and stuff is to carry you through growing season and the next one, and possibly even more than that, because it could be a contaminant in the ground. It could be a bad solar event or massive windstorms, whatever is going to take out your garden. If you had all your plans of growing the food in the apocalypse and you don't want to put anything back, best of luck to you, because shit happens. I try to show that on my channel as much as possible, as much transparency. I show you what goes right, what doesn't go right. Now we can see it's not all movie magic, right? Now, we could make videos like that, but in my own personal belief, that's just setting people up for failure. Just like when we were doing our outdoor survival training, we started our own business on that because I want to encourage people that were YouTubers, people that watch YouTube, people that watch here on the channel. I wanted you to come out there and experience how difficult it is. Get the training for it, learn how to do this stuff, because it's one thing to watch somebody do stuff and sit there and go, oh yeah, No problem, I got it. You know, I like to watch those survival videos all the time. And my wife, she can always tell when I'm watching something like that because she'll hear me yelling and screaming at the TV. Mainly because I know what needs to be done in the situation. But I know from experience as well that fatigue from cold, extreme heat, lack of water, no food, no sleep because you're chasing off bears, you make dumb decisions. And you rely on muscle memory for most. And even at that, I've messed up times. I have. I've made mistakes out there. I never claimed to be the great white hunter or the Daniel Boone of survival. I'm good. Sure, I am. But I've made mistakes too. So when it comes to watching and hearing things on YouTube, guys, don't fall for the BS. Your main concern is looking out for your family. You can see the news and information out there with all this buildup. Call it what you want. Rhetoric. You can visually see what's being pushed. Don't play around with it. Don't allow yourself to sit back and go, well, excuse me, nothing happened a year ago. Nothing happened 2 years ago. Really look at it. There's been a lot of things happen. Now, it wasn't the end-all, be-all, full-blown shit hits the fan and we're all living in caves scenario. But it's been a build-up. And it's constantly being a build-up. We're seeing administration right now just it looks like they're just pushing to get a massive war to start. In my opinion, either way, it doesn't matter what administration's coming in, which one's leaving, that war is here. And it's going to be in our face. I don't think we're going to be able to sit back on the sidelines on this one. I don't. And I don't mean as far as throwing troops at it. My concern, my thoughts, my gut is telling me this is going to be here. Whether the groups that are in America cause enough ruckus and destruction in our infrastructure. You know, we lose power, we lose water here. Millions would die. It doesn't take much to take out transformer stations. And it takes a lot to build them. We don't manufacture them here. They're coming from overseas. It takes forever to get here. You know, we've discussed EMPs and stuff like that and how long it would take for these things to be manufactured and brought here. By then, you know, millions of people be dead. Same thing. Most people are not conditioned for it. And on top of that, I should correct myself. It's not just conditioned for it because I just let my mind slip into the mindset of the people that leave those comments. Without power, medication is not being produced. Food is not being produced. Fuel is not being produced. America stops because electricity runs the country. Without it, everything stops. Do you have hectares and hectares of land, cattle and everything set up? Are you completely self-sufficient? Were you growing your own feed to feed your cows and all that stuff? If so, great. How many people you got defending that piece of property? Because you are going to be one of the biggest targets during this situation. Now, I'm not here to threaten anybody. I'm just hopefully waking you up. If you are completely self-sufficient and animals make a lot of noise and you can smell them from miles away, you are a target. You will have to defend yourself during SHDF. We all will. Anyway, like I said, take it or leave it. I'm not playing. When I see stuff like this, guys, I'm watching these videos where they're breaking out the new missiles. I'm listening to what they're saying with Russia and Iran, listening to what their threats are. Many people say, well, they're hollow threats because nothing's happening. There's plenty happening. You just got to open up your eyes to it. I think most people are just desensitized to the situation. A global conflict is going to affect us here. Even if it isn't explosions, mushroom cloud in our landscape, it's going to affect the economy. It's going to affect food production. It's going to affect supplies as far as what's coming in and what's leaving the country. We don't have any industry here. Not really. What happens when everything gets shut down And you can't purchase things because guess what? There's no shipping lanes open to bring in stuff. And when it does come in, what do you have to purchase it with? Anyway, guys, speak to y'all later.